Hey, welcome to the broadcast. My name is John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy for Global Real Estate School. You want to pass the real estate exam, and I want to help you do that. So let's get started with it right now. We're going to talk about non-resident licenses in Missouri. Kind of been talking a little bit about licenses on the last few broadcasts. I'm so excited. I've got a lot of brand new Missouri information that I am finalizing and should have live very soon for my Global Real Estate School students. A whole new look and feel. It has a glossary with it, lots of embedded videos, and in fact, part of this may be a part of that broadcast. But we want to talk about non-resident licenses today. And again, this is for the Missouri Real Estate Exam, and I have this pulled up on my whiteboard here. And so I'm just going to highlight for us real quickly that again, we're talking about non-resident licenses. I have a lot of people who actually go through my Missouri course and they live in Kansas City. And I don't know if you're familiar with Kansas City, but literally you can be in Kansas City and have lunch, get in your car, make a left-hand turn, and be on a road, and now you're in Kansas. So you're in Missouri and now you're in Kansas, or vice versa. But the state line just goes right through. So if you're going to live and sell real estate in those areas, you kind of need a license in both states. So if you're licensed in Kansas and you want to get a license in Missouri, well, you're considered a non-resident license if your license is in another state. So how does Missouri look at that? And that's what we're going to cover right now. And you will have some of this on the real estate examination. So let's just understand, number one, a non-resident person, partnership, association, or corporation seeking a license to engage in the real estate business in Missouri shall apply for an appropriate license on a form provided by the commission accompanied by the required fee. So that seems pretty self-explanatory. We're going to not only need the right form. That's pretty big there. Let me just undo that. Let's see if we can make that much smaller. There we go. So not only will we need the right form, but we have to pay the right fee. Pretty self-explanatory. So let's continue on. Again, we're right inside the rules and regulations regarding this section. And so if an individual who holds a real estate license in another state or jurisdiction desiring to obtain a real estate license in Missouri must fulfill the following requirements. So our first order of business is to look at salesperson requirements. Well, the way this normally works, and what I encourage people to do, is always call the Missouri Real Estate Commission, okay? However, if you are a salesperson licensed in another state, then you will be able to only take the state portion of the exam. In other words, you don't have to, they're going to bypass the school and they're going to allow you to bypass the national portion of the examination. So let's read on so you can kind of understand this. So, and I want to highlight this so we understand. So if you're an individual holding a current, that's a key word, and active salesperson's license, read those test questions carefully because they could kind of throw you off base there if it's not a current license. In another state or jurisdiction at the time of application for a Missouri salesperson's license must pass, and this is the key here, I'm going to highlight this in purple, the state portion of the Missouri salesperson exam. Remember what I said, they're going to waive the national portion, and they're even going to waive part of the schooling, the pre-license schooling. But you have to pass the state portion of the exam. Now, I have people come to me all the time that say, hey, I'm licensed in another state. I want to get my license in Missouri. It's funny, a lot of them want to, they just go and take the test and they don't pass, and then they find me on YouTube, like right now, and they need help, so I can help you out. Don't worry about that. If you're watching this video and it's like, gosh, I want to get my license in Missouri, I got a whole program for you. Just contact me is the easiest way, but we will have it on our website soon with a lot of this brand new information that I've been producing and developing. But all you have to do is take the state portion of the exam and pass it, okay? You got to do that. You have to have a current active license at the time of application. And the second part here is you must complete the 24-hour practice course that we offer, and that's included with my package. So it goes on to tell you here that the Missouri Real Estate Practice Course may be taken before or after the exam date. They don't care, but you have to take that 24-hour course, okay? But must be taken prior to applying for a license. Now, this is important here, and we'll do that in a different color. The 48-hour Missouri Salesperson Pre-Examination course shall be waived. See that? So that has been waived for you. Now, there's one other key point here. Application for licensure must be submitted to the Commission within 6 months of passing the state portion of the Missouri exam, the Missouri Salesperson exam. And you will need to provide a license certification from your state or jurisdiction that's been issued within the last 3 months, okay? That's the requirements for a salesperson's license. So just to recap, if you're a salesperson in another state, you have to take the 24-hour Missouri practice course before or after the examination. They don't care when, and I can provide that for you. I would recommend you wait and take it after, and then see me for my Missouri state-specific only course preparation. And that will prepare you to take the state portion of the Missouri exam. So you're going to pass the Missouri state exam, take the 24-hour practice course, that's all included with the bundle. You're going to need to get your certification of your license in your state or jurisdiction where you are licensed, and that needs to be within a 3-month period of when you make application. And you've got to do all of this within 6 months of passing the real estate examination. That's for salespersons. They waive the 48-hour pre-examination course, and they waive the schooling, all right? So we've got that for salespersons. Now, let's take a look at the brokers, which is next. So we're going to take a look at the brokers area here. This is for broker requirements. You, brokers, also have to take the 24-hour, you also have to take the 24-hour practice course, but you must have been licensed 24 out of the last 30 months. Let me kind of explain something here very quickly for you. I'm just going to come over here for a minute. And I'm going to use my wife as an example. My wife got her license in 1990, I think it was 1990 or 91. And Carrie was licensed with me, helped me at the office. She still is a very big supporter of me, but she literally had her license up until around 2010. So she had her license for around 20, 21 years, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. We had purchased a pick your own blueberry blackberry farm, and Carrie was running the farm, and she's like, you know, I'm not going to use my real estate license anymore. And so she didn't worry about doing continuing education. We didn't worry about renewing her license. And so she let her license expire. Now, what was interesting is remember, we renew license every even year. So this was a renewal year, 2010. And so Carrie did not renew her license here. We come to 2012. I was 2012, that's right. Okay. 2012, anytime up until that date, she could have renewed her license and paid the delinquent fee of $50 per month or partial month not to exceed $200, right? And at that time, she would have had to have taken I'm going to say that so you don't get confused. And she would also have to take the plus the 24-hour course. Okay, you got to do that now. It won't confuse you the way the law used to be. So she would have had to have paid the delinquent fee, the renewal fee, and the 24-hour practice course. And she could have renewed. Now, because she went past 2012 and did not renew, she has to start over. So if you go past the subsequent renewal period, in other words, she didn't renew here and she didn't renew in the next period, even years, 2012, at that point, then she basically forfeits her license, and she's like anybody else. She has to go back to school, take the exams, pass the exams, and apply for a license. She's like a brand new person. Well, let's just say that she does that, okay? So now she's licensed. She gets her license in 2023. That's when I'm recording this. And she gets her license and she says, hey, Missouri Real Estate Commission, I'd like to get my broker's license. Because if you go way back here, I got my license in 1990 and I was licensed up through 2010 or right before then, 20 plus years, I ought to be able to get my broker's license. And the answer is no, because when you read the rules, and let's go back and take a look at that, it says what? 24 of the last 30 months. Yes, Carrie was licensed for 20 years, but she hasn't been licensed 24 out of the last 30 months. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's one of the requirements for out-of-state, non-licensee agent folks who want to get their broker's license. Now, complete the Missouri 48-hour broker pre-examination course, okay? They have to complete the 48-hour broker pre-examination course, pass both portions of the Missouri broker exam, and apply for license within 6 months of the 48-hour broker course. So, they have to have been an active salesperson again. As we mentioned, 24 of the last 30 months of active salesperson experience, complete the Missouri 48-hour broker pre-examination course, pass both portions of the Missouri broker exam, and apply for licensure within 6 months of completing the 48-hour broker course. Now, we're going way up here, the course date. So remember, just like the salesperson, the clock starts ticking when you finish the 48-hour course, okay? Now, let's go on and take a look at this. And by the way, I want to go back here. This, what we were just talking about, is when an individual holding a current and active salesperson's license, okay? So when we came down here to this section, this, again, we were talking about salespersons. And I may have referred as a broker earlier, and I apologize about that. So I'm asking the jury to strike the record from their minds. But it's always a good testing point to remember. So the reason these folks here have to take the 48-hour broker exam is because they've been a salesperson for 24 of the last 30 months. So the difference, and I apologize, but I want you to understand the difference here, is that if you're a salesperson and you haven't been licensed 24 of the last 30 months, you could get a non-resident salesperson right away by just taking the state portion of the exam. What I should have stressed down here is, if you have been a salesperson for 24 of the last 30 months and you're thinking, I'd rather just get my broker's license rather than getting a non-resident salesperson license, well, you can do that if you've been licensed for 24 of the last 30 months, but you will have to go to the 48-hour broker school, okay? That is for salespersons. So you won't miss that on the test. So it's all right when I fail to mention something the correct way, because I think it's always a great learning point. So you have that. Everybody understands that. Now, number two, here we're talking about active broker folks. And with active broker licenses, you are exempt from the 48-hour pre-examination course. So if you have a broker's license in another state, then all you have to do is pass the state portion of the broker examination. And you also have to take the 24-hour practice course. I believe that's part of it. Nope, I think they do waive that. They do waive that. I saw 24 here, but what they're saying is you have 24 of the last 30 months as an active license experience as a salesperson or broker. Pass the state portion of the Missouri broker exam. Apply for your license within 6 months, and that needs to be from the 48-hour date. And also, you need to supply that certification, and it has to be within 3 months prior. Now, there are some states, and this is kind of weird, and I just want to go over this. There are some states that only have broker licenses. So if you're licensed in a state or jurisdiction that only issues broker license, Illinois is a broker license. We're approved in Indiana, they only issue broker license. Missouri will recognize the single license as a salesperson's license, and applicants must comply with the rules above, okay? So in other words, they will make you comply to the rules that we've already talked about. And then again, the certification within 3 months must also be provided. Now, same rules apply here if you are a non-resident wanting a partnership, association, corporation. You have to show that you have a history certification no more than 3 months prior to the application for the Missouri license from the non-resident licensing authority, that the entity is in good standing, and evidence that the applicant has complied with all applicable laws with respect to qualifying to do business in this state. So some things you have to do for your corporation. Just want to see. Number 5, the Commission may waive the examination prescribed by the license law for a non-resident individually duly licensed in other state under the laws of which a similar exemption is extended to licensees of Missouri, provided a written agreement for reciprocity exists between the licensing authorities. So if there's a state out there that says, hey, we'll give Missouri a license just by recognizing you have a license in Missouri, Missouri's going to do the same thing for that state, okay? And I think that was it. So just wanted to clarify and make sure that everybody understands some of the provisions for non-resident licenses. So let's summarize and go back over very quickly as we wrap up. If you're a salesperson in another state and you want to get licensed in Missouri, what you have to do is what? You have to pass the Missouri portion only of the examination. You have to take the 24-hour Missouri practice course, and you have to have a certification of licensure from your state or jurisdiction, and that has to be within a 3-month period of your application. Plus, you have to take the 24-hour Missouri practice course and get all of that in within a 6-month time frame from passing the examination. Okay, so you pass the state exam, the clock begins to tick. You have 180 days to take the 24-hour practice course. And remember, they don't care if you take it before or after. Pass the state portion of the exam and get your certificate of licensure. And of course, you'll have to affiliate with a broker that's in the state of Missouri. So you got to do all of that in that period. Now, if you're a salesperson who's had their license for 24 of the last 30 months in another state, you can bypass and go directly to get your broker's license in Missouri, but you will still have to go to a 48-hour pre-examination broker course, pass the national and state exams, show the certification of your license from your other state or jurisdiction, and that has to be within a 3-month period of time. And again, apply for that license. Do all of that 6 months from the date you finish the pre-examination broker course, okay? For the salespersons, that salesperson pre-license course is waived, and you only have to take the state portion of the exam. And your clock begins to tick for the 6 months when you pass the exam. For salespersons who've been licensed 24 of the last 30 months, who want to bypass the salesperson license and go straight for the broker's license, now we're talking about non-resident, their clock begins when they finish the 48-hour pre-examination broker course, and they have to pass both national and state exams, and they have to have the certification of licensure and, of course, the pre-examination course they have to complete, and get all of that done within 6 months from the date they finish the course. If you are a broker and a non-resident broker and you want to get a license in this state, then you're going to have to, the pre-examination course is waived, but you're going to have to pass the state portion of the exam, provide the certification, and do all of that within 6 months of passing your brokerage exam. For corporations and partnerships, they want to make sure you are in good standing in the state where you're doing business currently. And so you got a lot of background paperwork you're going to have to do there. And remember, we'll do for other states what they will do for us. If you are in a single licensed state, I don't think you will see exam questions regarding that, but Missouri's going to recognize those as salesperson, as just being a salesperson license. So the rules we just talked about is how those will apply in that situation. So lots of items to know for the non-resident portion of the examination, but I know you will do great on your big test day. And if you need help with the state examination in Missouri, well, check us out at Global Real Estate School. We can help you there and would love to do so. So, hey, as always, thanks for watching this broadcast. We'll be back soon because we're going to be doing a lot of live streaming. I've been working on a lot of new content, and now it's time to put the videos together. So we'll be doing some streaming. I'm doing a lot of recording now, but thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.